Desdemona is a Venetian girl, and of course, all of you can read the story on internet, but what I feel about her is that she's totally rebel. And she's rebel because she dares to love someone who is completely different than her. And for me, that was always a very important point in building this character. I did it in 2015 here at the Met, and now I'm doing it for a second time. And I should say, doing it now, I understand even more the sense, the way her life, why she was so much insisting on saving the life of Otello, saving his soul, and not just leave him. As it could be a very selfish decision, of course, selfish decision. Yeah, so for me, she's this rebel woman, a revolutionary. Me and Desdemona, we have in common this, I think, the sensation of living a life in a golden cage, and always the desire to escape from it, but the sensation of the duty that we can't really do it. This is also my sensation in my life, if I have to speak personally, but this is too personal. I leave it to you to understand what you want to understand. But yeah, this kind of life, completely devoted to the place she belongs in her society, and the desire to escape from it, to be wild, to be uncontrolled, to love what she wants and who she wants, and always to say the truth in the eyes of Otello. The musical challenges in this score are absolutely huge, because as every opera by Verdi, the voice is always into the limits. He used huge intervals, sometimes going from low register in the chest and then having a huge high note. It depends, it can be forte, it can be piano. This for me is really challenging in the sense of that I always want to do it very good. And it requires from me a huge concentration. I personally love the third act. This is where I feel really, really free. And I think it's one of the acts that shows a scene that is completely real and psychologically very well sustained by the orchestra, by the harmonies, by the text as well. We can completely read immediately and musically and textually the madness of Otello, his jealousy, but also the huge disappointment of Desdemona and why her man is treating her in that way. This is all in the text. Also, this amazing concertato at the end of third act is absolutely mesmerizing music for me, and for me it was always a huge pleasure to sing it. I should say for me it's challenging to play that already, because I mean, after the years of my career, I feel like into the very beginning of this part, in the first and second act, showing this fragile and pure and completely loving way she treats Otello. If I was Desdemona and Otello would treat me like that, I would probably, in my life today, I would probably send him a plate in a very Italian Latino way, right? And this is something that really comes from me now, and this is who I am now. Yeah, particularly challenging, I find also the fourth act. The first three acts are hurricane of sound, challenging vibrations, playing all over. And the fourth act, you need to refocus all your voice and all your abilities of an actress and hold almost 15 minutes all the audience into your hands. And this for me, I understand if I really did it well when I feel the complete silence in the hall. And when you see the Met in a complete silence, 4,000 people holding their breath and waiting to understand what will happen, this is where I think I did it well. The production here at the Met, already when we were building this in 2015 for the season opening, we wanted really to focus on these huge walls made by ice, and that was in our imagination actually the state of mind, the soul, and the loneliness of Otello. You know, he's totally lost. He's totally fragile. Many times they ask me, do you think that Desdemona is a victim? Yes, physically she is a victim because she dies and she's killed in a kind of a actually domestic violence case by her husband. But I thought that the real victim here in this opera is Otello. He's a victim because he can't really control his feelings, and he has no emotional truth. He doesn't know what those feelings are. His possessive way of loving Desdemona is completely wrong for me. And actually in this set, it feels kind of, when you are in and you play it, it feels like scary. The scene in the third act with him, with those big ice walls and those cold lights, it's completely scary for Desdemona. This is the mind of Otello who, little by little, kills her psychologically and then physically. Then this year, we have a newcomer in the company, and this is my friend, who I absolutely admire and I love so much, Gustavo Dudamel. And I was always very much amazed by him as a musician, but here he really showed me how much he understands the drama and the theater and the sense of the theater that Verdi wanted for this opera. It's not easy because here we're not only talking about the genius of Verdi, but we're talking about the genius of Shakespeare. And these two geniuses in one opera, in one production, is something absolutely insane. It's crazy. And I was so happy that Gustavo not only gave us the freedom to be on stage and to sing with all our senses, but also he could underline the drama. He could underline also the peace and the state of mind of our characters. Same happened in 2015 when we had Yannick Nézet-Séguin, and he's absolutely one of my favorites as well. And I absolutely loved singing with him, discovering the character with him, with his total innocence, but in the same time a lot of genius thought about this music. And he as well actually gave us such a big freedom, so we could really psychologically build those characters as well. I think we are living in a very good new generation of young and incredibly talented conductors, and I'm glad that I can share my experience with them here or all over the world.